What's up, everybody? It's the movie guy. Well, I just got done watching this amazing documentary on Tubi called In Search of Darkness, A Journey into Iconic 80s Horror. If you're a diehard horror movie fan like I am, go on Tubi. This is 4 hours long. This basically touches up everything from like 1980 to 1989, and they focus on certain movies from the 80s, and it'll go to 81, and there's interviews from Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street, one of my favorite 80s actors, Tom Atkins. There's Kelly Maroney from Chopping Mall. There's Kane Hodder. There's John Carpenter. It's really, really awesome. There's Joe Bob Briggs, Nick Castle, Greg Nicotero, Lloyd Kaufman. There's so many 80s horror movie icons that Alex Winter from Bill and Ted and from Lost Boys. Man, it brought back a lot of great memories for horror movies that I loved growing up in the 80s, because I was born in 76, and it's just, oh my god, there's horror movies I haven't even seen yet that by watching this I want to check out. You know, like I want to do a big giant Psycho marathon. I haven't seen Psycho in forever. So this is really awesome. So I'm sure the horror movie community have seen this. Maybe you haven't, but go on Tubi. It took me like 3 days to watch this because I watched it in parts. And Joe Dante, another one that's on there. I love Joe Dante. Made so many amazing movies. So I like what Ryan Turek said, who is the vice president of Blumhouse. He basically said, you know, he's like, watch what you love to watch. You know, like some people are gonna love this horror movie and some people isn't. So that's like with me with Iron Lung. Like, you know, there's a fan base that loved this movie and I wasn't a fan. You know, and he's like, everybody's a critic. There's more critics now that TikTok is around. I wouldn't say I'm like, I've been doing it since 2013. I've been reviewing movies just on my YouTube for a very long time. Not the one I have now, but I had a different one. And I did trailer reactions. I always did out of theater reactions. And I wish I still had those so I could upload them on my TikTok. You know, kind of like a throwback thing. So I've been doing this for a long time. So, but yeah, I've been doing this for 13 years. Right before the PS4 came out. I was, you know, I did movie news and stuff like that, and so I feel like I am a very OG movie reviewer. I don't want to say myself as a critic. I like movie reviewer better. But yeah, anyway, going back to this, look at the movies that they talked about. I mean, The Howling. Some of them they didn't get to. Like, they didn't talk about Monkey Shines, or they just showed the poster, but they focused on certain ones. They focused on, like, Jaws 3D, when that year came out, the Psycho movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, the Halloween. They also focused on 976 Evil. what are some of the horror movies else that they, The Blob, Toxic Avenger, The Burbs, the greatest Tom Hanks movie ever made, Pet Cemetery, American Werewolf in London, which is a top 10 favorite of all time. But man, this was amazing. This was great. A 10 out of 10, epic, fantastic documentary. It's got to be in my top 10 of best documentaries I've ever seen. So I'm glad I stumbled on this because I was looking up something on Tubi, and there's also a good one that focuses on the classic Universal monster movies and black and white older movies, and Christopher Lee does commentary, which is awesome. I forget what it's called, but it's on Tubi. But if you look up like horror movie documentary, I'm sure you'll find it. You'll see Christopher Lee's face on there. But anyway, it's The Movie Guy. This was a great watch, and it's on Tubi. Like I said, look for In Search of Darkness, a journey through iconic horror movies from the 80s. The 80s was the best for horror movies. Give me practical effects over CGI any day of the week. You know, I love watching a horror movie where I'm like, a team of people actually built that. There's people doing mechanics behind the scenes, making this monster move. You know, this is all latex. This is like a heavy costume, you know. CGI, I mean, even though it's fantastic, practical effects is better. And nothing is better like growing up in the 80s, going to the video store and looking behind the boxes and like, yes, they have, you know, Return of the Living Dead, or they've got Fright Night, or they've got The Fog, or they've got Halloween 4, or they got Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, you know, and so on, so on, so on. There's nothing, like, kids have no idea what Friday night was, Saturday afternoon, going to your local video store and seeing the little tab, like, yes, this movie's in. It's just, horror is the best genre, you know? There's so much that's different. So anyway, that's it for The Movie Guy for right now. Have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you later.